guys, my name is Lilly and today I have some very concerning news for you coming from Europe, this time from Germany. So now if you are a German citizen, if you are a male between 17 and 45 years old and you want to leave Germany for more than 3 months, you need a special permission to do so. Male persons who have reached the age of 17 must obtain permission from the responsible career center of the German Armed Forces if they wish to leave the Federal Republic of Germany for more than 3 months. Previously, this regulation only applied in crisis situations, meaning an increased external threat or an actual armed attack on the Federal Republic. So this is really concerning to hear. If I was a young German male, I would definitely think about leaving the country, because if laws are changed to a situation where you cannot leave anymore, then I'm really asking myself, what are they planning for Germany, right? So I'm not surprised that about 1/5 of the Germans, of the young Germans, are thinking about emigrating to another country. Also here I have news which is again very concerning, which let me question the mental sanity of German politicians. So Germany actually has a lot of coal, brown coal, but now one of the mines that they have, which actually has a huge amount of coal, it has so much coal that it actually could provide Germany's electricity demands for 2 years, more than 2 years actually. But now politicians have decided to flood this mine with water, and that would basically void all value of the mine. The planned flooding of the Hamburg open cast mine brings into focus a project that could have far-reaching consequences for the energy supply. From 2030, Rhine water is to be diverted into the pit until a huge lake is created. At the same time, 1 billion tons of lignite will disappear permanently underwater, along with a secure energy source for Germany. While uncertainty and price chaos prevail on the energy markets, the question arises as to what it actually is going on in the minds of those in power. While the rest of the world is doing everything it can to secure its country's energy supplies, German politicians are preparing the next irreversible step in this destruction: flooding the Hamburg open cast mine. Starting in 2030, Rhine water is to be pumped through a 45-kilometer pipeline into the enormous pit, creating a lake that would be the second largest lake in Germany by volume. This is the deliberate destruction of a strategic energy reserve. After phasing out coal and nuclear power and demolishing decommissioned power plants, this is the next step. Domestic reserves are being rendered inaccessible forever. The Hamburg open cast mine still contains over 1 billion tons of recoverable lignite, which is to be permanently submerged under a 300 meters of water lake by flooding. Germany needs about 458 terawatt hours of electricity per year, so this reserve could therefore supply the country with electricity for more than 2 years. Also, it could be used in an emergency in the event of a threatening blackout due to a period of low wind and low solar power in winter, for example. Or, as we see now, it could be used to mitigate effects of geopolitical supply bottlenecks with what we are seeing with the Strait of Hormuz. Instead of using it as a lifeline for industry, households and critical infrastructure, it is literally being drowned. The decision to flood the mine follows no logic whatsoever, but only an ideological agenda. The EU leadership is also pursuing the goals of climate neutrality and net zero. So instead of filling in the remaining pit or keeping it open for possible future use, it will be flooded with billions of cubic meters of Rhine water to prevent any excavator from ever reaching the coal again. So crazy. This is so crazy, guys. This move fits seamlessly into the insane overall picture of German energy policy. First, power plants are blown up, then the reserves themselves are rendered unusable, thus cementing dependence on imported electricity and volatile renewables. Security of supply is sacrificed for the deceitful mantra of climate neutrality. The lignite from Hamburg was once the densest and most reliable energy sources Europe has ever had. If you want to support my channel, I would highly appreciate it if you do it by purchasing a knife by the company Odenwolf. Odenwolf makes really awesome, great, cheap knives with high quality. I have one here. This is a bushcraft knife with a Scandinavian grind. So just one example of the great knives that they make. And if you're interested and if you want to support my channel, I will put the link to this knife and to other great knives into the description below. And with my discount code Lilly10 you will get a 10% discount. Heating with gas could become increasingly more expensive for many households. Not only are CO2 prices and energy prices driving up costs, but network charges are also rising sharply. The study shows that fees for the last remaining gas customers could multiply several times over by 2045. Consumers are already paying significantly more than before. Currently, gas network charges for households are around 64% higher than they were 10 years ago. That means an average of a single family home household of 240 euros more per year. Urgent warning. Global food prices are rising to their highest level since 2025 in March. Further price increases are likely if the conflict continues. A key driver is the increased energy costs resulting from the Iran war, but also at the same time high energy prices are driving up costs along the entire supply chain. Many want to leave Germany. Young and emigrated. The best decision of my life. 1 in 5 Germans between the ages 14 and 29 wants to leave Germany. 21% of those surveyed are actively planning to leave Germany to find better living conditions abroad. Also, Russian oil facilities are set ablaze after a drone attack. One Russian port after the other is getting attacked. Also in Serbia, there's a pipeline. I think it's the last pipeline which is bringing oil from Russia to Europe. And they found explosives near the pipeline. So apparently somebody wanted to sabotage this last pipeline as well. So yeah, somebody is working really hard that we Europeans are getting less and less resources. And yeah, the question is if this is all planned. Is this part of the plan? Analysis show from this day forward, Europe faces massive fuel shortages. If no agreement is reached regarding the Strait of Hormuz, the world faces a massive fuel shortage. Europe too has very little room for maneuver. The situation is escalating dramatically. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil routes, is effectively closed. China and India are heavily dependent on Hormuz exports with 90%. Some countries are already reacting with austerity measures, such as shortened working weeks. Europe is also affected. The situation will be critical around the 10th of April. The diesel situation is particularly precarious. Roughly a third of imports come from the Middle East. This could severely impact transport, agriculture and heating. Deliveries could gradually decline from that date. By the end of April, Germany could experience a genuine shortage of gasoline and diesel. North America has a little bit more time. The full impact is expected to hit there from mid-April onwards. Australia is bringing up the rear. Supply chains there are not expected to break down until April the 20th. The situation is more critical for refined products. Millions of barrels are already in short supply worldwide every day. Diesel, kerosene and naphtha. Essential materials for industry, aviation and the chemical sector. Initial flight cancellations and rising prices are already a reality. Long-term consequences are looming. Even if the situation eases quickly, the damage is likely to be done and it will remain. Supply chains are disrupted, warehouses are running low or overflowing, and the world is heading towards a phased energy crisis, starting in Asia and hitting us pretty soon with full force. The diesel price right now here in my country is €2.17 per liter of diesel. So it has stayed around this level for the last days. Didn't get more expensive, but soon we will see how this will pan out. Here they're saying we must prepare for an energy crisis. The crisis is driving prices further up. Despite favorable February data, the Middle East crisis threatens a new surge in fuel and gas prices. Also, a lot of people said, oh, now I'm going to switch to electric cars. And there were articles promoting electric cars because they don't need diesel, right? Or gas. But now also charging electric cars has become more expensive. Charging electric cars suddenly up to 4 times more expensive. Electric car owners need to be strong now. Those who charge their cars at night at Wien Energy charging stations now have to pay up to 4 times as much. Because in the night there's not a lot of sun. The solar panels are only working at daytime, and therefore the electricity is much more expensive in the nighttime. Sometimes some working places, they have solar power. You can recharge your car for free for the workers. But if you don't have that, you have to recharge your car at night when you are coming home, and then it will cost you more. So all of this is not really well thought through. Sony is halting shipments of memory cards. The cards are no longer available for direct purchase by consumers. The company cites a global shortage of memory chips and other semiconductors as the reason. Alright guys, so this is the news for this week, and I have to say the news is getting more extreme, more concerning every week, and it's really crazy what's going on. I don't know where this will end. The only advice that I can give you is prepare yourself, get some food, water filter, all of the preps that preppers do. Maybe plant a veggie garden, something like that, because pretty soon everything will become very expensive. Also, having a little bit of a reserve of diesel or gas is a good idea for emergencies. So yeah, this is it. Very concerning news. If you want to see more videos like this, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel, and stay tuned till next time.